Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. This is another very unconventional knife review. I have 4 knives that I'm going to present to you in the most spectacular fashion. All those knives are from my sponsor GearBest. It's a great sponsor that I have because they have given me so much work that actually they really made sure that this channel still exists. I think it's great value for the money, so I have no problem at all using them as a sponsor. In fact, these are some of the coolest knives I've ever seen, and they're so inexpensive. But definitely we'll put them to a test today, and we're going to start with this one. The HX Outdoors D145 fixed blade. Let me show you its features. What I like the most is the way how this handle is shaped. I mean, look at that. It's wood, real nice wood, but the way how it is shaped gives you so much purchase. Also, the blade is really good for cutting. It's a great outdoors knife, and specifically for Germany the blade length is just under 10 centimeters, so it's legal to carry. And also it is not a tactical knife. The way how it is shaped and the way how it is sold, it's pretty clear that this is an everyday outdoors knife. It's a stainless steel blade that's hardened to 56 to 58 HRC, so it's very hard, high carbon steel. And it says here it's a 440 steel. I'm not sure if it's a 440A or B or C, but in any case we'll find out. It comes with a real leather sheath and altogether a very, very nice package, and it is sold for 24.95 euros. It's really, really inexpensive knife for the quality that you get. The next one is an HX Outdoors again, but this is the HX Outdoors D121 knife, and I love how the blade is shaped. Gotta love it. Let me show you its features. Blade length is just under 10 centimeters again. It's a stainless steel blade hardened to 58 HRC, so it's really more like a tool. And I love that the blade is actually titanium coated, because this means that the surface is almost indestructible and looks pretty. Also, it really gives you a good purchase because again they have added this kind of little grooves here to the handle. It does have a ring, but I think it's more for a lanyard or for someone with really thin fingers, because not even my little finger, my pinky, can get through here. And of course if I try to use this like a Karambit, yeah, there's not a chance. In any case, you also have this piece here, and I think this is also something that gives you additional purchase if you want to hold it like this, so you can act like Karambit style with it a little bit. And I love this groove because I think it gives you some kind of better purchase on the piece that you're working on. This one comes with a textile sheath, and actually it's nice because there's an additional pocket in here. It costs 17.59 euros for a titanium coated 58 HRC knife with this cool design. These knives are definitely for outdoors purposes, so they're used for cutting things like wood. And again, it is easy to cut things, to carve things with it, just because of this shape. I like this very much, it's very practical. But the thing is, of course, will it hold an edge? And the same is true for the other HX Outdoors that I just showed you, the D145. Yeah, it's nice, it's really very, very nice for carving things, but will it hold the edge? What we have to do is we have to devise a test machine, a real torture device for knives that simulate cutting with them a million times. And here is what I came up with. Meet the knife rotor blade of death. Of course, if you want to simulate cutting with a knife, you have to make a cutting move. And rotor blades are normally not good for that, because when they turn quickly, the thing is that you will only cut with the front part of the tip and never with a real blade with a real edge here. So what I did is I added another joint and rubber that makes them snapping, like this and this. And the piece to cut is put in here, so that when the knife touches the wooden rod here at this spot, it has to bend like this, see, and cut the whole thing until it snaps back. And then the other knife hits the same thing, and again does the same kind of motion. Okay, like that, and then like that. See, the whole edge gets into contact with the wooden rod. Now what we need is speed. Like this, but faster. Oh, beide Messer weggeflogen. I think we need to change the machine a little bit to be a bit more safe. So what happened? Well, I've been using these kind of wood screws as an axis, and obviously they drilled themselves out even though I had attached them with the super glue. And now I had to replace this with machine screws, countered. So this is the new axis, and hopefully this time it's going to hold. So don't do these things at home, folks. This is a dangerous thing, and it's actually a stunt plus a review. A combination that's probably a first off on the internet. Okay, here we go again. Okay, that was it. It hacked through. But unfortunately one of our rubber bands also teared. I don't think it was a problem at all, it simply kept working. What I really like is how sharp these knives are. Can you see that? Let me see if the camera focuses right. This looks almost polished, the cut here. And of course the very last piece then broke simply from the impact of the blades. And I can say that the edges are still perfectly sharp. Yeah. There's no visual damage and the sharpness is still fully intact, even though we just cut through a 14mm piece of birch wood. The next challenger, aluminum. HX Outdoors versus aluminum. Let's go. Okay, one rubber band gave up, but the aluminum gave up too. So you can easily see that the knives were not kind to the aluminum tube. So look at what happened. Of course my machine isn't really precise and there's a lot of play in it. So see how many times these blades have hit the poor aluminum tube, and I think in the end it simply gave up because it was hit that hard that it was probably heating up and then bent so much that it broke. But see how much each individual slash kind of cut into the aluminum. Those are impressive knives for sure. Alright, so the blades survived wood, they survived aluminum, but now they will have to yield steel. Alright. Whoa, fair enough. Let's take a look. So you can see what happened to the steel piece. Definitely a lot of damage. You know what? The edge is very slightly burred, but I think with a simple whetstone I can get this to full sharpness again. It doesn't really even need a full resharpening process. Let's look at the other knife. Okay, same thing. You can even see that there's a slight damage right where the blade hits the edge for the first time here. But truth be told, I'm totally amazed by the quality of this. Okay, now if you look at the blade, you can see that of course there's a certain amount of bluntness, but nothing so critical that you wouldn't have after using a good blade for a while. So this just needs some sharpening and then it's good to go after this kind of mistreatment. Now you tell me if this is a quality knife or not, because I am totally convinced. And you know what? I think this one fared even better. Unbelievable. And you can really see that where it hits it hit the steel with the first contact. There you see it took the most of the damage, but still, it's not serious. I mean, this will be as good as new after I'm done with it in 5 minutes of wetting. The next knife we are looking at is the HX Outdoors Q05. It is actually a dagger. See, I love the shape, and I love that it has this thumb rest, because this means that you can really, in a fight, use it like this. So, or you can also use it like this, because it has this finger molds here. So you really have some purchase, because a dagger is for stabbing. Well, let me be very clear. This is not an outdoor knife. This is a fighting knife. And of course this means, unfortunately, in Germany it is illegal to carry. It is double-edged, and both edges are sharp. And of course it's fairly pointy, although I had to resharpen the point, since I have to admit I tested the heck out of it already and there was a little bit of damage to the tip. So this piece of steel costs a whopping €11.79. Can you believe? What a deal. What a beautiful dagger. But that won't save the dagger from the most brutal test I could possibly imagine. How do you test a dagger? Well, a dagger is for stabbing, so stabbing is what we must do. But of course not just once. So what we did is, we squeezed this thing inside of this block here. And then we put some rubber on it, and this has a joint, so that it will stab down on things that you put in between this here. Like that. Alright, torture dagger test. This is fun. Wow, that boy is suffering a lot. As you see, it stabbed about 1,000,000 times into the plywood. And if it would have rested in one place, I think it would have punched through. But this way, it simply caused a lot of stabbing. And just as expected, that tip didn't suffer at all, not from the wood. Alright, next in line, 6mm aluminum plate. Right, let's see what happens. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, fair enough. Wow, there was a lot of stabbing. Look what the tip did to the poor aluminum. And it loved that it sounded like a bell. Dinner is ready. This did nothing to the tip of the dagger. The next stage, steel. Okay, we'll find out. Bing, bing, bing. Well, I have to say, this is a miracle. Look at the steel. Wow. Now let's look at the blade. Now look at that. I mean, it's probably a little blunt, but I mean, that's really nothing. It would still be good enough to stab a million things with it. This is amazing. I mean, 2 strokes on the whetstone and this thing is as good as new. Unbelievable what you can get for under 12 euros. I think this is a great little thing. I love it. Great design and obviously very, very good quality. Now the last knife that I'm showing you today is actually one where I need your help, really. Because this is a Karambit, as you see. It's the Sima Z5, which actually costs just under 25 euros for a great Karambit. And I really like it because it has this kind of stone-washed look on the blade. It's a 440A blade. I think it's 7CR17. And of course it has all the classic features that a Karambit should have, plus some. So as you see, it has this mean little, how should I say, it's not a spike, kind of edge here. And it has another one here. And it also allows you to back cut with this here. So I think if you go in this direction and then against your opponent from this side, it's most devastating. So all this I really love. I also love the way how the scales are attached to it, because it looks kind of edgy and cool. The only thing is, I don't know how to build a machine that tests this, because in reality what a Karambit does is a motion like this, right? So this is how you're supposed to fight with it. How can I simulate it? I don't know. Do you have an idea what a machine I could build to test this? If so, comments down below. And the coolest comment, the one that I'm using to make a test device for this, wins the knife. And if I break it, you'll get a brand new one instead. Those are really cool knives, and there's a little bit more. I mean, a lot of people in previous sponsored videos about GearBest expressed concern that they would not ship reliably and so on. I have to say that all of these knives have been sent to me just like to a normal customer, and everything arrived on time and complete. And I was never dissatisfied with it. But in order to give you guys a chance to test it, and also in order to show them how much you support my channel, they have given me coupon codes for 4 different knives. And some of these knives are really cool. Like this model that looks much like a discontinued model from an American manufacturer. But that I reviewed in an earlier video. And now with the coupon code, you can get these knives for sometimes just $1 or €1 a piece. And I think the most expensive one is €1.50. And shipping is already included. This means that you only have to risk about €1 to, first of all, support my channel, and second, to see if GearBest is a reliable and trustworthy supplier. So please do it. It would help me. So, I hope you like this, because that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.